and then what is this? Protect the team, and then yeah, go ahead. What else? What is the goal of that person? The goal of this person is very simple. Build winning teams. Build cross-functional, self-organizing team. If you have to build a cross-functional, self-organizing team, the team does not just get to a performing level if you just say, okay, you 5 or 20. When it gets to that level, it starts with a forming stage, norming stage, forming, storming, then norming, and then it goes to performing. And there are different attributes of a Scrum Master. In a forming and a storming stage, most often the self-identity is missing. Why am I in this team? What is my goal? What am I going to do here? How am I going to be evaluated? What is that I'm going to do? That means you need a lot of open communication and facilitation. So a Scrum Master becomes an open communicator and facilitator. When it goes to norming and performing stage, he becomes a protector. He becomes a coach. I mean, tell me how many of your Scrum Masters do that? Forget about that. Tell me how many of your Scrum Masters even know that there are 4 stages of team formation. When the Scrum Master that you think, or the industry thinks, is not aware of the people aspect, how can you even expect a self-organizing team, winning team? A blocker. Why Agile is not able to win? Now let me come to the other aspect of the same thing. You know, if you go through a psychology, every time somebody talks about something or introduces a change, people go into from a status quo, they get into a dip. They say, this does not work. Somebody says, hey, have you tried Scrum in your company? No, that doesn't work for me. The first instinct, I'm not talking about Scrum, the first instinct of any change is to say block. And then you deny that. You will start denying that, no, it doesn't work, this is not the way. When somebody is starting blocking and denying, and the other person, say for example, he is continuously blocking, I am giving him some idea and he blocks. What happens if I start repeating it? He gets into a depression mode. In the depression mode, the performance of the person goes completely down. Dips to the core. When people introduce Agile, the misunderstood concept of even Agile, the performance goes down, and immediately your delivery focused structure will say, wait a second, we were doing better, now just because of this new change, everybody is depressed, everybody is going down, so we are doing underperforming, let us stop this, go back to the original state. Point number 3, people withdraw because each stage has a different way of handling things. Somebody is a god and whatever he says, focused on that guy. Satisfying one person. Okay? And the next thing is, people see this as a button. There's only two buttons, unfortunately, 0 or 1. Either your failed button or a success button. So there is always a fear for failure. When you have a fear for failure, you will not succeed. You will not experiment, you will not be creative. And that is making people choose the right way and the wrong way. They think about, oh, since there are only 2 buttons, if I take one route, it is going to go to the right way or the wrong way. So even before they keep the first step, they'll just think over. I'll give you a metaphor. Assume that each one of you are lost in a deep forest. What would you do? What is your goal? Reach your house, right? I mean, you are lost of the forest, you have to reach your house or some hotel nearby. Now, your goal is to reach. Will you see a straight path? Oh, if I take this path, I'm going to go to the hotel. I'll go in this way. You are already lost. So what do? You first go, inspect, and then move across, inspect. Oh, is this going in the wrong direction? Let me change your inspect. Inspect, you look for a sound, you look for noise, whatever. You inspect and adapt. You are always successful, but in the process, you hit a lot of inspect and adapt cycles. Similarly, if you want to build a winning product is your goal. When building a winning product, you will have a lot of inspect and adapt cycles. Like, hey, this feature, is it working? Is it not working? Let's inspect and adapt. Is it good, bad? Inspect and adapt. Look at Facebook. Every 3rd day, you will see a new feature. Inspecting and adapting. If that feature doesn't work, the next 3 days, you will see that feature is gone. Usually about 15 days they keep. Gone. Why? They want to inspect and adapt and give the best experiences. By the way, is Facebook Agile? Yes. Is Facebook doing Scrum? I don't know. But certainly they are giving value, delivering high business value every single time. Okay. Next is no single goal, missing goals. I went to a developer, I asked him, what is your goal? He said, I have to develop 25 features this quarter. Okay, awesome. I went to a tester in the same team, I asked him, what is your goal? You know what he said? I have been asked to at least find 25 defects per feature that I am working on. I was like, wow. You know what was the situation, why this question came up? These two people were fighting on a very trivial defect. The developer was saying this is a defect 4, low priority defect. The tester was saying no, this is a very high priority defect. Why? For him it is a count of 1, for him it is another count of 1. So they are like fighting on the defects, either it is yes or no, and not on the product that, hey, the defect needs to be fixed. We are creating that situation for failure. And one of the interesting things is like we don't have good coaches, we don't have good mentors who can tell you openly, transparently, like, look, this is what is going to take you to a we miss them. And unfortunately, I shouldn't claim this, but unfortunately, most of the people in the industry claim to be mentors and coaches without having this deeper understanding of why we are doing things. If you catch hold of such bad people, wrong implementation of Agile metaphors, Agile manifesto, you will suffer. Probably you will have another successful story why Agile fails. The next one is again. So do you think that we are still, Agile is struggling or are we? We are struggling? Wow. Okay. What we are doing is this. People have understood that there is a need for being rapid, quick to market. People have understood that teamwork is essential. People have understood that we have to be focused on customer satisfaction. They have understood that, but they are implementing it in a wrong way. So, we have understood the right thing, but we are completely doing it in a wrong way. I have 10 more minutes. That was my time. Okay. So, though we have good things, we are completely doing it wrong. How are we doing it wrong? Let me just put it here. One, I have spoken to many people who claim to know Agile. Every time they use the word Agile, they implicitly meant Scrum. Wow. Agile is a thought process. Agile is a set of principles. How can you talk about Agile equal to Scrum? Scrum is a framework. I will give you a metaphor on this. If I have to go from here to Delhi, what are the modes of transportation I have? Train, bus, car, flight. If I can walk, I can cycle, I can bike ride. Yes? I have about at least 7 options that you gave me. Now, which of these 7 should I pick? My goal is to reach Delhi. I am only talking about the goal. My goal is to reach Delhi. Which of the 7 should I pick?
Any of them.
I can pick any of them.
Budget.
1 second. I can pick any of them if my goal is just reaching Delhi. Now the constraint starts up. If I have no time, then which one do I pick? If I don't have money, then which one do I pick? If I have infinite time, what do I pick? See, your decision of which mode of picking depends now on the constraints that you have. Now, every organization has one single goal, build winning product. The goal is winning product. You have different modes of development. Waterfall is one way of winning product. Scrum is one way. XP is one way. XP is one way. TTD is one way. You have multiple ways, the frameworks of developing winning products. Every product will have winning product. Every method will have a winning product. Okay? Now, the second question is, among these, all will take you to this. Each one has their own constraints and things. Which one would you pick? You would pick based on your constraints. Your company wants, your company has budget constraints. Okay, I cannot change more. Maybe I will restrict the features and then going on. I am working on a complicated stuff. I have, okay, a Scrum. Maybe somebody else on a defect fix only or a maintenance only. I may be working on Kanban or something else. Oh, every time you make a decision, your goal is the same, but your way of working is different. Each one is agile. I come from a background saying that if, how many of you have heard of this word, change request? What is change request?
Existing features.
Huh?
Change the requirement.
Changing the requirement based on the customer need. Principle number 3 in Agile says the process should be able to harness the changes for customers' competitive advantage. Isn't this waterfall change request step adhering to the principle number 3? I will ask you, what is lessons learned in waterfall? What is lessons learned session? Oh man, you are already giving me an equal. Okay. It is typically, how do we become more effective and efficient? By looking at what we did. Principle number 12. Even waterfall is using some of the principles. The only difference is Scrum is using most of these principles. Waterfall is just using one or two. There are certain things that it breaks. Okay? So please, if you want to succeed in your organization, clearly, if you're talking about the principles, use word Agile. If you're talking about the Scrum as a framework, use Scrum. Don't mix them up. Okay? And every time you talk about Agile, implicitly you should be meaning, I'm either telling you that we have to build a winning product or a winning team. In order to do that, what should we do? That should be your thoughts. Okay. Next, another big mistake. I mean, some of the big people talking about this, I get like, wow, do they even know? Or rather, I don't know about it. Either they are all correct or I'm wrong, I don't know. But you cannot compare a framework with a principle. How can you compare framework and a principle? You could rather compare waterfall with Scrum. Waterfall is a one iteration. Scrum is an incremental and iterative. That is better. So stop comparing waterfall and agile, waterfall and Scrum, waterfall with your process, because you can be agile, deliver high business value even being waterfall. When I go to organizations, I am also from PMP background, I have done my project management certification. I ask this question. Even in project management, there is a lessons learned session. What is lessons learned session? Look at your past, improve over. I meet project managers who have done like project management for 10 years, 15, 20 projects. I ask them only one question. You have worked for 15 years in project management, and every time you finish a project, you do lessons learned session. How many lessons learned sessions were effective and efficient? Did you not even have one single moment of thinking that if I have to satisfy my customer, more frequent feedback is important? If you felt that, did you implement in your next project? Did you feel a need for team members to be collaborative within your projects? Did that come even in your retrospective? If it comes, did you implement it in your next one? I will tell you, the people, the 17 people who joined together, they were never started a Scrum as a whole framework at once. They were also working in waterfall. Over a period of time, they utilized this inspect and adapt continuously to become better, and finally they look back and then say, hey, wait a second, this is completely different, this is completely different. Let us call this as Scrum, or whatever nonsense. That is how things evolve. I am challenging you. If you use your retrospectives very effectively, your organizations, each organization will have your best framework, best process, which will always help you deliver high business value every single time, and hence making you be agile. Okay. Next is, we all hold the umbrella. I saw one Scrum there, one thing there. We all hold the umbrella of Agile, and underneath we do everything that is nonsense. Like the project manager is called Scrum Master, line manager is called Scrum Master, the senior technical lead is called Scrum Master. All the team members will still have the same thing and call, oh, you are all the cross-functional team. Somebody who is a business person will be called product owner. Come on, product owner is a product owner. If you have a business analyst, call him business analyst. Do not fool yourself. By fooling yourself, keeping an agile umbrella so that other people can see like, oh, he is holding agile, they are agile. Underneath everything is gone, status quo. If you do that, agile will not sustain. You will not be able to see that. Okay? So, do you think that agile is agile struggling in India, or are we? We are. This is what I was trying to say. If you're lost in the forest, you should be very careful. There is no one path to success. There is inspect and adapt. Don't consider this as failure. It is inspect and adapt, inspect and adapt, inspect and adapt, inspect and adapt. Your goal is to win. Inspect and adapt till you win. You might have n number of resources, n number of tools. People are behind tools. This is what the principle number 1 said. Okay, individuals and interactions are more important than process and tools. Why? No matter how many tools you have, if you don't know how to use them, you will use them in this wrong way. And you will still be cursing over saying that we don't have a right thing. Okay? So, why I am saying this is this. The Agile principles saying that build winning teams, cross-functional teams, make them winning people, and give them that ecosystem. But what we do is we give them a process. We give them the step. And then say you have to follow this. Put them under a bomb. Makes you fail. Agile does not succeed there. The ability does not succeed. And then the information radiators. I have not seen any teams having the information radiators. The first day when people call me up, I feel surprised that none of the people have the information radiator. I'll tell you why. Information radiators, people have a misconception that this is used for reporting. This is used for seeing the results. No. If you get deeper, I have done research on this, if you get deeper, these information radiators help you build self-organizing teams. You want a proof? I'll give you a proof. Assume that you are all batsmen and the score is target score is 256, current score is 128, 2 wickets down. You are batting, I am the bowling team. What is going on in your mind? 25 overs done, 25 overs more.
I shouldn't lose the wicket.
Shouldn't lose wicket.
You have to maintain the run rate.
Maintain run rate. Now if you are in a bowling team, then I am batting, you are bowling. Take wickets. Don't give runs. Tighter fielding. Okay. Tell me one thing, did I ask you to win? Then why are you giving me the answers that will lead to win? I never said that. I just said this is the target, this is the scoreboard. Why are you assuming that you have to win? Did I tell you that? Yes, this is the point. By default, each individual, every one of you, every organization is tuned to produce winning products. By default, we are tuned to be winners. But the system makes us fail because we don't have information. Now you tell me, if I hold a blank scoreboard and you are batting, what would you do when I put the next ball?
I won't care, I'll just get it.
You will do the net practice. Exactly the same way the small kid picked up a coin to say, this is what is familiar to me. You see this? So the scoreboard is helping you make a decision, strategic decision to win, which is default. You have to enrich on that. Many people miss this. Next, the most effective and efficient way of communication. What is that? Face-to-face communication. Okay. What are the other modes? What are the other modes?
Video conferencing.
Video conferencing. Face-to-face video conferencing. What else?
Telephonic.
Is telephone a video? Face-to-face communication?
Co-locations.
Type of communication.
I have done a lot of work. I only know these two methods. Either I can meet him personally or video call. Done. Only two ways of face-to-face communication. How many of you are using the most effective and efficient way of communications in your projects, in your organizations? Face-to-face, video conferencing, link, yeah, for everything. I'm not saying just one, everything. I was working for an organization. They understood the importance of this. They were completely distributed teams. All their meeting rooms were changed into video conferencing calls. You go to any room, just dial in, the other person is right there in front of you. Value of face-to-face communication. Most effective and efficient.
So it's not just about effective mode of communication itself, it's also about those points wherein we need to communicate that.
Exactly.
Times when we have to communicate.
Exactly.
Especially when we are
Yes.
not located at the same place.
See, the point here is not that assuming that the message is the same, what is the most effective way of communication? So, If you say hello on a phone call, if you say hello on this, the message is different. That's all it is. Okay. Next, this is what I wanted to ask you, and this is where I come from when I coach. Each of your organizations are already agile. I don't have to come to your office. I will bet each one of you are already agile. Why? Because right from the day one, the process that you people are using today were not present. What you did is over a period of time, inspected, adapted, introduced a new step, new process. Over a period of time, inspected, adapted. So, right from day one, you did not have everything. You inspect and adapt, inspect and adapt, inspect and adapt, inspect and adapt. And today, you have all the frameworks, all the things required to make you deliver the product in a better way. But, you know where you're going wrong? Where most of the organizations go wrong is here. When we started, we had a tail. Today, we don't have a tail. Why? We have inspected, adapted, and cut that. We have removed it. The problem with organizations, the management, the people, is when they inspect and adapt, they add new things without cutting the unwanted stuff. In the period of 5 years, they would have introduced so many processes, so many steps, that right from day one, everything will be there. Because one person is working from 5 years, he would prefer that way. Another person from 4 years, he would prefer that one. Just now, somebody started off, they prefer something that is called, Agile buzzword. We did daily stand up here. Let us do. You see this? People, by default, every company is inspecting and adapting. But they are not agile just by inspecting and adapting. They have to be agile, but cutting off unwanted stuff. Now, this is what I call ineffective retrospective. Scrum came as a scrum from these people because they were started off working with some process. Over a period of time, they inspect and adapt. They had a very effective retrospective and said, this doesn't work, this works, this doesn't work, let's try. They came up finally with Scrum. Kanban, hey, let's try this. They came up with this. During this process, they have cut all the unnecessary things. That is why this is very different than the original one they started off with. Okay? So, each of your company is agile, and that is why you are employed, your company is still existing. If your company was not inspecting and adapting, you wouldn't have been agile. Now, the more aspect that we have to give emphasis on is, forget about, hey, we are not agile, let us be agile. No. We are not effective, let us be effective. That should be a process. Okay? Now, are you too busy to improve this? Somebody comes and says, hey, like, look, if you do something, you will improve. People are like, no, I don't have time to improve. We are busy working, don't even tell us. We are busy delivering, don't even tell us. Are you too busy? Ineffective retrospectives. Okay? And I would like to quote this, Darwin's statement, Charles Darwin. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is most adaptable to change that survives. Your organization have to be most adaptable to changing ecosystem, market needs, customers, product needs. People, even people are changing the organization, it has to be adaptable to that. If you do that, the organization will sustain. Yes, one day it is going to work. Now, tell me, is Agile really struggling in India? Or are we? We? So, when people talk about, Agile doesn't work for me, Agile is this, Agile is that, I want you to be the leaders of knowing what is Agile and challenge them saying that, hey, are you talking about Scrum? Are you talking about being Agile? Or are you talking sensibly? Okay? Thank you so much. I have no secrets. You can ask me any questions. You can follow me and visit my website. Website is also called agilemetaphors.com. My Twitter ID is agilemetaphors. You can reach me on my
That's it.
And to win, we need to build winning products, and for that, we need a winning team. Okay, so now, no. My question is not complete. My question is that are we also teaching Agile to the right audience? I mean, wouldn't we say to build a winning team, we need highly motivated, highly engaged, highly, employees who are really involved. So for that, I mean, we also need to educate the senior management and the complete organization or
You're
people who are taking the decisions on Agile that, okay, this is what you need to focus on, employees who are engaged. So you need to motivate them.
Exactly, you have the right point system of being agile. Everybody in the organization, right from the CEO to the team members, probably even the office staff, like the toilet cleaning, everybody has to be agile, okay? They have to be delivering high value in their own way. Now the point is, when everybody is looking at building winning products, that is a result, okay? See, winning the World Cup match is a vision. What is the goal? I have to win this match. If I have to win this match, what is my contribution? I have to play better 100% on myself. Okay, you have to be passionate. I will tell you the next aspect of it. Whenever I go to a software company, I ask the team members, what is your passion? What are you good at? What is your passion? You know what people say? I like singing, I like dancing.